It was a quiet evening in the city. The sun was going down. The sky turned orange. People walked on the road, talking, smiling. Some were going home. Some were shopping. No one knew something bad was about to happen. Zoya walked alone. She was wearing simple clothes, a blue hoodie and jeans. Her long hair was tied in a ponytail. She had a bag in her hand with books. She looked like a normal girl, but Zoya was not a normal girl. She walked calmly, but her eyes always watched everything around her. She noticed people. She noticed cars. She had been trained to stay alert. Her father taught her that. Zoya missed her father. He died 1 year ago in a car accident, but she still remembered his voice clearly. Zoya, always be ready. The world is not always safe. One day you may need to fight. At that time, Zoya didn't understand. But now, she was starting to. As she crossed the road near the bus stop, she felt something strange. A white car passed by her slowly. The windows were black. She couldn't see inside. Her heart beat faster. Zoya walked faster too. Her home was just 2 streets away. She turned her head. The white car had stopped. Her eyes narrowed. "Stay calm," she whispered to herself. "Don't panic." She walked toward a small shop to act normal. But before she could enter, screech! A black van stopped in front of her. The door opened fast. 2 men jumped out. Big, strong, wearing black jackets and masks. "Hey!" Zoya shouted, stepping back. But it was too late. One man grabbed her arm. The other covered her mouth. She kicked. She punched. She tried to scream. No one helped. People nearby froze. Some took out their phones, but no one moved. No one stopped the men. Zoya fought hard, but they pushed her inside the van. The door slammed. Shut. The van sped away. It all happened in 10 seconds. The people on the street stood in shock. Some shouted. Some called the police. But the van was already gone. Inside the van, it was dark. Zoya tried to move. Her hands were tied. A cloth was on her mouth. Her eyes were wide open. She looked at the men. One sat near her, holding her down. The other drove the van fast. She didn't cry. She didn't beg. She stayed calm. Zoya knew this moment could come. She remembered every lesson her father taught her. She closed her eyes and took a deep breath. Think, watch, wait, fight only when the time is right. Minutes later, the van stopped in a quiet place. It looked like a small house in the middle of nowhere. No neighbors, no lights, no sound. The men pulled her out and dragged her inside. Zoya looked around quickly. Metal door. 1 camera. Broken window. 3 rooms. Inside, she was locked in a small room. A chair, a table, a camera in the corner, 1 small light. Her hands were tied to the chair now. One man looked at her and said, "You'll tell us everything. You know why you're here?" Zoya stared at him. Her eyes were calm. Her lips stayed quiet. He hit the table hard. "I said talk." Still no answer. The men left the room. Zoya looked at the camera. She didn't move. She didn't show fear. "Why me?" she thought. "Who are they? What do they want? They think I'm weak, but I'm not." Flashback begins. Zoya was 8 years old when her father started teaching her. He was in the army, a brave soldier. After he retired, he trained young girls in self-defense. He trained Zoya the hardest. Every morning she would wake up at 5 a.m., punching, kicking, running, balancing, learning how to fight, how to fall, how to stay alive. "You will not need this now," he used to say, "but one day it might save your life." Zoya sometimes cried. The training was tough, but her father never stopped, and slowly she became strong. Her father's accident changed everything. After he died, Zoya stopped training. She thought the danger was gone. She thought she would never need to fight. But now, sitting in that chair, in a dark room, she knew. He was right. Back to present. 1 hour passed. Zoya didn't eat, didn't drink. She waited, watched, listened. Then the door opened again. A new man entered. He looked different, calm, wearing a gray coat. He sat in front of her. "Zoya, do you know who I am?" She didn't reply. He smiled. "You should. I knew your father. We were friends." Zoya's eyes turned cold. He continued. "Your father had something we need. And you're going to help us find it." She looked at him sharply. Her jaw tightened. "I know you're trained. I know you're smart. That's why we brought you here." He leaned closer. "But don't make a mistake. We are not playing games." Then he stood up and walked out. The door locked again. Zoya sat in silence. Her mind was full of questions. What did my father have? Why do they think I know? Then she smiled slightly, because they didn't see it. While talking, she had moved one finger enough to loosen the knot on her wrist. They tied her hands, but not tight enough. She could feel the rope slipping. She waited for the camera light to turn off, maybe for just 5 seconds. And when it did, she moved fast, one hand free, then the other. She stood up silently, her face serious, her eyes sharp. "They grabbed me without warning," she whispered. "But they forgot one thing. I was trained to fight back." Zoya stood in the middle of the room. Her hands were free now. The ropes were on the floor. The camera light was off. Maybe the guards thought she was too tired to escape. Maybe they thought she was just a girl. They were wrong. She walked slowly to the door. It was locked. But Zoya didn't panic. She looked around the room. Her eyes scanned every corner. There was a small nail sticking out of the table leg. She smiled. "Use what you have. Always observe," her father had said. Zoya broke the nail off and put it in her pocket. Then she sat back in the chair and tied one rope loosely on her wrist. She made it look like she was still captured. She waited. She remembered how to stay still, how to control her breath. It was not the first time. Flashback. 5 years ago, Zoya was 13. She sat on the floor breathing hard. Her clothes were dusty. Her arm hurt. Her eyes were wet. "I can't do this," she shouted. "I'm not strong like you." Her father stood in front of her with a calm face. He was a tall man with strong eyes and a kind smile. He didn't get angry. He sat beside her. "Zoya," he said softly, "do you know why I train you?" She shook her head. "Because one day, the world might be unfair to you. One day, someone might try to hurt you. You must know how to protect yourself." "But I'm just a girl," she said. He touched her shoulder. "You are not just a girl. You are my daughter, and that means you are stronger than you think." Zoya looked at him. His words touched her heart. That day, she got up again. She didn't quit. Present time. A loud sound broke her memory. Bang! The door opened. A man entered with food and water in a tray. He walked in casually. "You hungry?" he said. Zoya didn't answer. She kept her head down. The man walked closer and placed the tray on the table. That's when she moved. In 1 second, she threw the rope from her wrist, jumped up, and pushed the man to the floor. The tray fell. The water spilled. The man shouted in shock. Before he could react, Zoya kicked him hard in the chest. He hit the wall and collapsed. She quickly tied his hands with the same rope they used on her. "You tied it wrong," she said to him. "Let me show you how to do it right." She picked up the food, just a slice of bread, and took a quick bite. She needed energy. She looked at the small clock on the wall. Only 10 minutes before someone came back. She stepped out of the room. The hallway was empty. Cold. The lights flickered. There were 3 doors. She moved quietly, her body low, like her father taught her. Flashback. Last lesson. The last time she trained with her father was 2 weeks before his death. That morning was quiet. The wind was soft. The birds sang. Her father tied a cloth over her eyes. "Today we train blind," he said. "How will I see?" Zoya asked. "You won't," he smiled, "but you will feel. You will listen." He threw small objects around her. She blocked some, missed some. When she got hit, she didn't cry. She laughed. "Getting better," he said. That day he gave her a pendant. It was small, silver, and had a strange design. "This was given to me by a friend," he said. "Keep it safe." Zoya had worn it every day since, back to present Zoya, touched the pendant around her neck. She didn't know why, but something told her. It was connected to everything. Maybe the men wanted it. Maybe her father knew this would happen. She reached a new room. It was filled with boxes and files. She opened one quickly. Her father's name was on a folder. Her hands froze. "Colonel Imran Malik, confidential." She opened it. Inside were papers, maps, and a flash drive. "This is what they're looking for," she thought. Before she could take it all, she heard footsteps. Voices. 2 men. Getting closer. She grabbed the flash drive and ran back to the first room. She closed the door, retied the rope on her hand, and sat still again. The door burst. "Open." The man in the gray coat returned. His face looked angry. "What happened to the guard?" he asked. Zoya said nothing. He walked to her. "You think you're clever? This place is locked. You won't escape." Zoya looked at him, her voice calm. "Maybe. But I'm not scared of you." He laughed, then leaned close to her. "Let's see how long you can keep this act." Then he left again. Zoya's heart beat fast, but her mind was calm. She had the flash drive. She had the truth. She had hope. "I don't know what's inside this drive," she thought, "but it must be important, and I'm going to protect it." She looked at the camera again. "Let them watch. I'll show them what a girl trained by her father can really do." Zoya waited in silence. The flash drive was now hidden under the loose floorboard beneath the chair. She had carefully lifted the old wood with her foot, while the camera light blinked off for a few seconds. No one saw her do it. The ropes were back. On her hands, loose but tight enough to fool the guards. She kept her head down, pretending to be weak, but inside her mind was sharp. "They think I'm just sitting here," she thought. "But I'm getting ready to fight." The minutes later, the door opened again. A new man entered. He looked younger than the others. He had a small scar on his cheek and wore a cap pulled low. He held a small camera in his hand. "Smile," he said coldly. "The boss wants a video. He says if you don't talk, we'll send this to someone who cares." Zoya didn't move. The man walked closer. "No smart words today? You were brave earlier." He leaned down and pulled her face up with one hand. That was his mistake. Zoya moved fast. She twisted her body to the side, slipped one hand free, and elbowed him in the stomach. He gasped. Before he could shout, she grabbed the tray from the table and smashed it on his head. He fell to the ground, groaning. She stood over him, breathing hard. "You picked the wrong girl," she whispered. Zoya quickly locked the door from the inside and dragged the man to the corner. She tied his hands and feet tightly with the same ropes. Then she picked up his cap and jacket. "Time to blend in." She wore the jacket and cap and tucked her hair inside. She looked in the mirror on the wall. Not perfect, but good enough for a dark hallway. The escape begins. Zoya stepped into the hallway. Her heart was beating fast. She walked slowly, calmly, like she belonged there. 2 men stood at the far end talking. They didn't even look at her. She passed them quietly. Then she saw something strange, a metal door with a fingerprint scanner. That's where the leader must stay, she thought. She wanted to go in, but she needed a plan. She needed more time. Just then, she heard a voice behind her. "Hey, where are you going?" Zoya turned. One of the guards was walking toward her. Think fast, she told herself. She spoke in a deep voice, copying the man she knocked out. Boss wants water. Girl's not talking. The guard nodded. Okay, come back fast. Zoya walked away, trying not to show her fear. She reached the stairs and climbed down to the ground floor. It was quieter here. One door had a red light. She peeked inside. It was a storage room. Shelves, boxes, a few tools, and another surprise. Someone was tied up in the corner. A new ally. Zoya ran to the person. It was a boy, about her age. His face was bruised. His hands were tied. Hey, she whispered. I'm not one of them. I'm getting you out. The boy looked at her with tired eyes. You're not lying? No, she said. What's your name? Arman. Zoya smiled. I'm Zoya. She cut his ropes using a small knife from the shelf. Arman stood up, slowly. Why are you here? She asked. They took me 2 days ago, he said. I think my father works with the government. They want some code from him. Zoya's eyes narrowed. So it's bigger than me, she thought. This gang is targeting special people, families, secrets. She looked at him. Can you run? I think so, he said. Then follow me. Escape fails. They moved fast, hiding in corners, avoiding cameras. They reached a back door. Zoya pushed it slowly. It creaked open. Outside was dark. Freedom was close. But just as they stepped out, bang! A gunshot hit the wall near Zoya. Stop right. There! A voice shouted. 3 men ran out from the shadows. One of them aimed a gun. Zoya pulled Arman back inside. They ran into a small room nearby and locked the door. They were trapped. The men banged on the door. We know you're in there. Open up! Zoya looked around. No windows, no vents, no way out, but her hands touched something on the wall. An old fuse box. She smiled. She opened it and started pulling wires. What are you doing? Arman asked. Buying us time, she said. She yanked one final wire and suddenly all lights went off. Darkness, total silence, screams from the guards outside. She killed the power. She's in the tech room. Get the generator. Zoya grabbed Arman's hand. Let's go. While they panic. They ran through the dark hallway. She knew the layout now. She moved like a shadow. A message from the past. They stopped behind a wall to breathe. Zoya took out the flash drive from under her shirt. I found this, she told Arman. It belonged to my father. What's on it? I don't know, but I think it's the reason they kidnapped me. Arman looked at her. You're brave. Zoya smiled. Just a little. My father trained me for this. He's not here anymore, but his voice is in my head every minute. Suddenly, lights came. Back. The backup generator had started. An alarm rang. They had to move fast. Zoya looked at Arman. We escape tonight, or we never escape. She held the flash drive tightly. She had just made her first strike. Now, the real fight would begin. Zoya and Arman ran down the hallway. The lights were back on. The sirens were loud. The men were shouting. Footsteps echoed behind them. But Zoya didn't stop. She remembered every corner, every door. They turned left, then right, then slid into a small supply room. Zoya closed the door slowly and locked it. Both of them breathed hard. We can't keep running, Arman said, out of breath. They'll catch us. Zoya stayed calm. She looked around the small room. There were wires, batteries, tools, and a broken radio on the table. Her eyes narrowed. She picked up the radio and checked the battery. Still working. The plan. We're not running anymore, Zoya said. What do you mean? Arman asked. Zoya sat down and opened her small backpack. She took out the flash drive. They're not chasing me because of me, she said. They want this. She looked at him. And maybe it's not just about my father. Arman looked confused. My father works with the government, he said. Cybersecurity. He told me once that something dangerous was stolen last year. He never spoke about it again. Zoya's heart beat faster. What if the thing your father lost is the thing my father found? She said. They both looked at the flash drive. Zoya plugged it into the radio's USB port. A small light blinked. A file opened. Project Thunderwolf Top Secret. Defense Code Access, Colonel Imran Malik, backup file. Only Zoya's eyes widened. Arman whispered, Your father was hiding a national defense code. That's why they killed him, Zoya said, her voice shaking. That car accident. It wasn't an accident. Meanwhile, in the control room, the man in the gray coat stood, in front of a large screen. Guards came and went reporting updates. She cut the lights. But they're back. They have the flash drive. Do we stop them now? The man didn't answer right away. Then he turned slowly. No, let them go a little further. He smiled. They think they're running the game. Let them believe it. Then he looked at the map of the building. I want them watched, not caught, yet. Back to Zoya, and Arman Zoya looked at the flash drive. The files were encrypted. She couldn't open them all, but one video was not locked. She clicked it. It was a message, her father, Colonel Imran Malik. His face appeared on the small screen. He looked tired, serious. But his eyes were full of love. Zoya, if you are watching this, something has gone wrong. Zoya's hands shook. This flash drive has one of the most powerful codes in our country. It controls something dangerous, a project I once worked on but later tried to shut down. Some men didn't want it to stop. I found out too much. That's why I'm hiding it now. I didn't tell you before. I wanted you to have a normal life. But if you're watching this, then I failed to protect you. So now, you protect others. Trust no one, not even those in uniform. Someone inside helped them. Someone close. Finish what I started. I love you. The video ended. Zoya couldn't breathe for a moment. Her eyes filled with tears, but she didn't cry. She took a deep breath. I won't let them win, she whispered. Escape attempt were to Zoya. Opened a vent at the bottom of the room wall. Arman, can you fit through? He nodded. They crawled through the tight space, holding the flash drive carefully. It was dark, dusty. Small sounds echoed, but soon they reached the end. She pushed the metal door open. They were behind the building now. No guards. A chance. They ran. Across the open yard, into the trees, into the night. Safe or not. After running for half an hour, they reached a small village. An old man stood outside his tea shop. Please help, Zoya said. We need to make a call. It's an emergency. The man nodded and gave them a phone. Zoya dialed a number. It was memorized long ago. A woman picked up. Hello? Aunt Farah. It's me, Zoya. The voice on the phone froze. Zoya? Oh my God. Where are you? I don't know exactly. Somewhere near Shapur. I escaped. They're looking for me. I'm coming, she said. Don't move. I'll send help. Zoya hung up. For the first time, she sat down. The shopkeeper gave them water. Arman drank slowly. His hands were shaking. We made it, he said, but Zoya wasn't smiling. She looked at the road. Too easy, too quiet, too fast. Then she heard it, the sound of a car engine. Then another. Black vans. No lights. They found us again. She stood up fast. Run! But this time something was different. The vans didn't stop. One of them drove past them. Two others followed, chasing someone else. Zoya and Arman looked at each other. Who are they after now? Arman asked. Zoya's eyes turned cold. Not who, she said. What? They got what they wanted from me. Now they're going after the real target. She looked at the flash drive in her hand, and then up at the night sky. It's not just about us anymore. It's about what comes next. Zoya and Arman watched the black vans disappear down the road. Their hearts were beating fast. They were not sure what just happened. Why didn't they stop? Arman asked. Didn't they see us? Zoya shook her head slowly. No. They're chasing someone else now. Something's changed. They looked around the quiet village. Zoya felt a strange fear growing in her chest. Safe house. An hour later, a white Jeep stopped in front of the village tea shop. A woman stepped out. It was Aunt Farah, Zoya's father's younger sister. She wore glasses and looked serious, but her eyes filled with tears when she saw Zoya. Zoya. She ran and hugged her tightly. You're alive, thank God. Zoya hugged her back. She felt safe for a moment. This is Arman, Zoya said. He helped me. Farah nodded. Come. We must leave now. This place is not safe. They drove through narrow roads and reached a small farmhouse outside the city. It was quiet, with no people around. Farah locked the gate and checked all corners. Of the house! You'll be safe here, she said. No one knows about this place. Zoya and Arman finally sat down. Zoya gave Farah the flash drive. My father left this, she said. He said there's a dangerous project on it, something called Thunderwolf. Farah's eyes widened. I've heard that name before, she said. Long ago. Your father wanted to shut it down. Zoya looked at her aunt carefully. You knew? Farah hesitated. Yes, she said. But I thought it was just an old army file. I didn't know it was still active. Arman's doubt that night, as Zoya slept, Arman walked outside to get fresh air. Farah followed him. You care about her, Farah said softly. Arman nodded. She's brave. She saved me. Farah smiled. She's her father's daughter. But then her tone changed. Arman, can I ask you something? Of course. Why were you kidnapped? Who are you, really? Arman looked surprised. I told you. My father works in cybersecurity. Yes. But who does he work for? Arman paused, then slowly said, I don't know everything. He never told me much. I think it's some special branch. Farah didn't say anything else. She just nodded and went back inside. A strange call. The next morning, Zoya woke up early. She turned on the laptop in Farah's room and plugged in the flash drive. One more file had unlocked overnight. It was a list. Names. People. In high positions. Officers. Agents. Next to some names were red marks. Enemy inside. Corrupt. Do not trust. Zoya scrolled and froze. Farah's name was on the list, with a red mark. Agent Link. Suspect. Zoya's hands went cold. She couldn't believe it. My aunt? No. She saved me. She cried when she saw me. She gave me shelter. But her father had warned her. Trust no one, not even those in uniform. Someone inside helped them. Zoya stood up quietly and left the room. The truth revealed later. That afternoon, Farah called Zoya and Arman into the living room. I've made tea, she smiled. We need to think about our next step. Zoya sat slowly. Arman looked relaxed. He was tired. Farah poured tea for them. Zoya didn't drink. She looked at her aunt with sad eyes. I saw the list, Aunt Farah. Farah froze. Zoya continued. Your name is on it. Farah didn't speak for a long moment. Then she slowly smiled. A cold, empty smile. So, your father really trained you well, she said. Arman sat up straight. What's going on? He asked. Zoya stood. Her voice was steady now. You worked with them. You gave them information, didn't you? Farah nodded. I never wanted to hurt you, Zoya. But your father had something powerful, something people would kill for. You let them kill him? Zoya whispered, heartbroken. I didn't mean for that to happen, Farah said. I only wanted the file. But Imran was stubborn. Zoya's fists clenched. So why bring us here? Arman shouted. Why not just take the flash drive? Farah looked at him. Because I needed to be sure who had it, and now I am. She stepped back and clapped twice. The front door opened. 2 men in black coats entered. Zoya grabbed Arman's arm. Run! Escape again. They ran out the back door. Shots fired behind them. A window broke. A vase fell. Zoya and Arman jumped over the garden wall. They ran through the fields, tall grass hitting their faces. Behind them, the men chased. Farah stood at the gate. You can run, Zoya, but they'll catch you. They always do. But Zoya didn't look back. She held the flash drive tight in her hand, tears in her eyes. You betrayed my father. You betrayed me. But I will finish his mission. They disappeared into the night. This time, alone again. This time, betrayed. But not broken. Zoya and Arman kept running. Their clothes were dirty. Their shoes were torn. But they didn't stop. Behind them, the safe house was no longer safe. Farah had betrayed them. Zoya's heart was heavy, but her mind was clear. I trusted her. She lied. But I won't stop now. I can't. They reached an empty train track just before dawn. Zoya dropped to her knees, breathing hard. Arman sat beside her. Where do we go now? He asked. Zoya looked at the rising sun. We go to the only person my father said I could trust. A secret contact hours later, they reached a small town on the edge of the forest. They entered a tiny shop that sold books and old radios. An old man with a white beard stood behind the counter. Zoya looked at him and whispered, Code Red. The man stared at her for a second, then slowly nodded. He led them into a back room filled with files, maps, and screens. You're Imran Malik's daughter, he said. Zoya nodded. You knew my father? He saved my life once. He told me, if anything happened, you might come looking for me. I've been waiting for years. The man's name was Majid. He had once worked in the army, then disappeared from public life. I'm the last of the old guard, he said, the ones who believed in justice. What's on the drive? Zoya gave him the flash drive. Majid plugged it into a special laptop. More files opened. This time, more complete. One folder was locked with a final password. Zoya remembered something, her father's last words in the video. Finish what I started, she typed. Finish what I started. The file opened. A map appeared. Satellite images, names, timings. Zoya read the heading. Thunderwolf activation point, June 14th, 2025, 0300 am. Launch location, Sector 9, Power. Grid bunker. Target, classified. Arman looked confused. What is Thunderwolf? Majid answered in a cold voice. A weapon, a digital one. A virus that can shut down an entire country's power, weapons, and systems. In seconds. Zoya's face turned pale. They're going to use it? Yes, Majid said. In 3 days. If they succeed, everything goes dark. Banks, hospitals, airports, defense. It will be the biggest digital attack in history. The urgent mission. Zoya stood up. We have to stop it. Majid nodded. There's one way. The control bunker in Sector 9, but it's guarded. You'll need clearance, a plan, and courage. Arman asked. Can't we call the police? Or army? Zoya looked at him sadly. We don't know who to trust. Majid agreed. This isn't just an outside attack. It's inside, too. People in power are helping. Your aunt is one of them. And she's not the only one. Zoya looked at the map again. Then, We go there ourselves. Majid handed her a metal key card. This used to belong to your father. It still works in old systems. Zoya took it and closed her hand around it. I will stop Thunderwolf, no matter what. The trap that night, they slept in the small back room. But someone had already seen them enter the shop. A phone call was made. A voice on the other end said, "They're in the town. I want them alive." The attack at 3:12 a.m. The windows broke. Smoke bombs filled the room. Zoya woke up coughing. Arman grabbed her hand. Majid shouted, "Out the back!" They ran through the fire and smoke. Men in black rushed in with guns and torches. Majid pushed them into a secret tunnel behind a bookshelf. Zoya cried, "Come with us!" But Majid stayed behind. "I'll hold them back. Go!" He shut the door behind them. Gunshots rang out. Zoya wanted to scream, but she didn't. She just ran deeper into the tunnel, her eyes full of tears. Mission starts. Now at the end of the tunnel was a forest road. A black Jeep was hidden behind trees. Zoya found a note on the dashboard. "If you're reading this, I'm gone, but you must not stop. Go to Sector 9, save the country. You're stronger than you know. Majid." She folded the note and put it in her pocket. Arman started the Jeep. Zoya looked at the road ahead. Dark. Dangerous. Unknown. But she wasn't afraid anymore. "They killed my father. They used my aunt. They'll destroy my home, unless I stop them." Zoya held the flash drive in her hand and whispered, "Code Red begins now." The black Jeep moved fast through the forest road. Zoya sat beside Arman, holding the flash drive and the keycard. Her hands were cold, but her eyes were strong. They had only one day left before the Thunderwolf attack. "Are you sure about this?" Arman asked. Zoya looked straight ahead. "No, but I have no choice." The journey to Sector 9. They drove for hours, past villages, mountains, and army checkpoints. They avoided cameras and main roads. Zoya used a map Majid had given them. It showed a hidden path to Sector 9. Sector 9 was deep underground, a power grid, built long ago for military use. Now it was the control center for something deadly. At the gate at sunset, they reached the outer gate of Sector 9. 2 guards stood there. Arman slowed the Jeep. "Let me talk," Zoya said. She stepped out and walked toward the gate. "Stop!" a guard shouted. "Who are you?" Zoya held up the keycard. "I'm Colonel Imran Malik's daughter. I have access." The guards looked at each other. "Colonel Malik is dead," Zoya said firmly. "But his mission isn't." One guard took the keycard and scanned it. Green light. "Access granted." They looked surprised, but let her in. "Be careful," one of them whispered. "Something strange is happening down there." Zoya nodded. Inside Sector 9, the underground tunnels were cold and silent. The lights flickered. CCTV cameras followed their every step. Zoya knew they were being watched. She and Arman reached a steel door labeled, "Control Room Authorized Personnel." Only. She used the keycard again. The door opened. Inside, rows of screens showed live feeds from all over the country. A large red countdown blinked on the wall. Thunderwolf launch. T-minus 15 hours, 42 minutes. Zoya's heart sank. The hacker. Suddenly, a voice spoke from the shadows. "Well done, Zoya. You made it." A man stepped out of the dark. Young, smart, calm. He wore a badge. "Dr. Rehan, cyber defense expert." "I knew your father," he said. "I worked on Thunderwolf with him, but we had different dreams." Zoya narrowed her eyes. "You're behind this?" "No." Rehan smiled. "I just built it. Others are behind it. I only follow orders." "But you helped kill my father." Rehan didn't deny it. "He tried to stop us. Now you're doing the same. Like father, like daughter." The offer Rehan walked closer. "But I don't want to hurt you, Zoya. In fact, I'm offering you a deal." "What deal?" she asked. "Join us. Help us finish what we started. You'll be rich, powerful, untouchable." Zoya's eyes filled with anger. "You think I want money? My father died trying to stop this. My aunt betrayed me. I ran for days. I lost everything." She stepped forward. "And now I'll stop you." Rayhan laughed softly. "You still don't understand. You can't stop it. Thunderwolf is already set. If you try to shut it down, the system will delete itself and the virus will spread faster." Zoya looked at the countdown. 5 hours left. Then, "I'll risk it," she said. Fight in the control room. Zoya grabbed a metal rod nearby and swung it. Rayhan blocked it, but she moved fast. Arman joined the fight. They struggled. Screens broke. Alarms rang. Zoya threw Rayhan to the ground. She grabbed the flash drive and ran to the main server. "Password required." The screen blinked. She remembered the video of her father. "Trust no one, but trust yourself." She typed, "Zoya never stops. Access granted." She inserted the flash drive. "Upload counter code." Yes, the screen started to load. 10%, 12%. Rayhan screamed, "No, you don't understand what you're doing." Arman held him back. Zoya watched the screen. 40%, 62%, 79%. Suddenly, sparks flew. The server shook. "It's overheating," Arman shouted. Zoya didn't stop. 2%, 96%, 100%. Then, system rebooting. Thunderwolf shut down. The red countdown disappeared. "Threat neutralized." Silence. The alarms stopped. The lights calmed. Rayhan fell to his knees. "No, this wasn't supposed to happen." Zoya stood over him. "You built a monster," she said, "and I ended it." The sun was rising when Zoya and Arman came out of Sector 9. Their bodies were tired. Their clothes were torn, but they had done it. Thunderwolf was stopped. Still, Zoya knew the danger wasn't over. "They'll come after us," she whispered. "We ended their plan. They'll want revenge." Arman nodded. "Then let's finish this, once and for all." The last video back at a safe location, Zoya opened her father's flash drive one last time. There was one final folder. It said, "In case she wins." She clicked it. Her father appeared on the screen, his voice calm, his eyes soft. "Zoya, if you're watching this, then you stopped them. I'm proud of you. You didn't just fight. You believed. That's what made you strong. But one task remains. The truth must come out. You must show the world what they were planning. Share this video. Share the files. Let everyone see what evil looks like behind a clean face." Zoya's hands shook, but she knew what she had to do. Going public, with Arman's help, she uploaded everything: the full Thunderwolf plan, the list of corrupt officers, the truth about Farah. The video of Rayhan's confession, she sent it to news agencies, police departments, and social media. Within minutes, the story exploded online. Headlines read, "Young girl stops cyber attack that could have destroyed country. Secret weapon Thunderwolf exposed by daughter of killed army colonel. Nation demands justice as truth comes out." The people were shocked and angry. The aftermath. Within hours, Farah was arrested trying to escape the country. Rayhan was taken into custody. High-level officers were removed from duty. Investigations began everywhere. Zoya became a national hero overnight, but she didn't feel like one. She just sat in silence. Arman sat beside her. "You did it," he said. Zoya looked at the stars. "No," she whispered. "We did." A message. To the people, Zoya was invited to speak on national television. Millions were watching. She walked up to the mic, and in a soft but firm voice, she said, "I'm not a hero. I'm a daughter. A girl who lost her father. A girl who was betrayed. A girl who was hunted, but I stood up and I fought back. Truth is not loud. It's quiet, but it never dies. We must stay awake. We must ask questions. We must protect what's right." Her voice shook a little. My father died for this mission, but his mission was never just his. It's ours now. Tears filled many eyes. Across the country. She ended with one final line. The enemy was inside, but now the light is too. 1 year later, Zoya started a foundation in her father's name, the Malik Truth Initiative. She worked with students, young coders, and ethical hackers. Her story inspired movies, books, and thousands of young girls. But Zoya stayed simple. No fame. No noise, just work, and sometimes she still visited her father's grave.